Perhaps you can hear the wind and the leaves rustling in the trees. I didn't capture much of the splendid colors of autumn this year, simply because it was too treacherous for me to walk around outside. My ankle is too tentative to dare to navigate through piles of leaves that were often concealing gopher ridges, one of which would take me down for 2 days in pain from the tendon. Not to complain, but it is healing slowly, but it is indeed healing. So much is still undone. Can't take the stepladder down, or shouldn't anyway. Luke and Henry were out to help gather up the cages and the hammock stand from the garden, get in the sealant, do urgent winter chores before it froze, which it has frozen. So I'll soon be bush hogging the fields below. Also, the freeze took the color, all except just little bits of, no, I guess you can't see the orange from the marigolds that were bordering the garden. It's a lovely day, finally a bit warm, bright sunshine, cold skies, hawks riding what I suppose they feel are thermals. I even saw a red-tailed hawk this morning. It's election day, which I'm ignoring. It'll be another 30 days, I feel, until any kind of solid results can be delivered, and gosh knows what's going to happen. Kind of buckling in tight after last night's terrorist attacks in Vienna. That hit too close to home. Vienna is such a lovely city, and the Austrians were not prepared emotionally, psychologically for machine guns. They're not like Americans, who rather expect guns all over the place. And oddly, they feel discreet, separate and civilized, even though Kabul just had the terrorist attack on the university there, and Paris always, to me, seems simmering and volatile. People there have learned to live with uncertainty. That's not how it feels in Vienna. Vienna feels civilized and calm, which is almost amusing from an American perspective, because Europe to us appears so closely knit. Even the Middle East seems, barely across the country. But the cultures are so unique that I suppose it creates a bit of an illusion that they are more separated geographically. Yay! I hope that recorded. I hope you got to finally hear the donkey. I'll miss him. It's almost time for the farmer to take his cattle and donkey away. Then it will be really quiet here. starting to get into it again. The pandemic has created lulls here and there, lulls of adjustment. I've started another quilt, so I'll be ready to quilt in front of the fire and embrace winter, though right now I'm pretty reluctant about it. I've got piles of extra clothes to layer, but grumble a little bit about getting out of a warm, snuggly bed onto a cold floor. But it will all work out just fine. That bucket has, I don't even know what, some plants I've got to harvest the seeds from. That's the time of year it is, so I've got bowls of seeds, plates and bowls of seeds lying about in the cabin, and more to harvest from the garden. But I've been keeping myself to just one trip a day. So my family is all fine in Vienna. For that I give thanks. And we'll focus on just how fortunate I am here, regardless of what the election may hold. So let's dance in happiness. And always work toward change for the better, but accept what we cannot. I have finished the first draft of my novel, my blueprint for change, my fantasy book culminating in a revolution. Oops, did I give away the ending? Well, it all hasn't ended yet. For me, much of this is a replay. The heavy-handed guard coming in to quell protests. I hope that in this sputter we get further along than we did, and that complacency does not overtake advances. I think it won't. I think that a lot of people are working on good things, and that there is time. Regardless of who gets elected.